Jai Sri Krishna. And I think all of you appreciate it. Thank you so much. The Vichar Vimash, that is the spiritual conversation that I had with Neeraj, Nayan, Maharaj Shri from Vrindavan. So what I am attempting now is to have translated the whole thing in English. That is what he says and I say. So here goes. Let us see. I have tried my best, and I have, of course, passed it through him. And I think it's a good enough translation. So here it goes. First, it was me, Shakun, who I'll call Of course, I'm Shakun. So my question to Shri Maharaj Shri. You're young, good-looking. In fact, you remind me of Lord Krishna. What made you take to the spiritual path? And Maharaj Shri replies, when I came to Mumbai and met your satsang friends, I realized that there is not much difference. That is what he means is that he probably felt that in Mumbai people would not be that spiritual, but when he met my spiritual friends, he says, oh my God, they are as spiritual as probably the Vrindavan ones. So this is what he means, that I realized that there is not much difference. Fact is that you don't choose that. Now he continues, fact is that you don't choose the spiritual path. It chooses you. I have heard many stories in which people wanted to become something else and took to something else. The Upanishads say that whoever God chooses, so in reality, I have not chosen God. He has chosen me. So I consider myself very lucky that truly amongst millions of human beings, He chose me. That is for the spiritual path. And in reality, all God Bhaktas should believe themselves lucky that they have not chosen God, but they have been chosen by God. So I replied, Shakun, I have also heard that you do not choose a guru chooses you. So then maybe that effulgence that I see in your face must be also a gift from God. And I say, my Guruji used to say, people have decided to walk on the spiritual path, but when difficulties come their way, they start praying and imploring to have their difficulties removed. Then my Guruji would tell them, you have decided to take to the spiritual path. So then tell me, you have these difficulties because they make you pure. And addressing Maharaj Shri, so in this reference, I have heard you telling us about the Venu Geet, the Geet of the Song of the Flute that comes in the Srimad Bhagavat. Would you share the story again for my friends and me and your listeners? So Neeraj Nayan Maharaj Shri replies, Venu Geet is a very well-known Geet, that is Song of the Gopis. There are 5 songs of the Gopis. One of the Geets is Venu Geet. Through the listening to the Venu Geet, whatsoever is happening at present, that is the COVID-19, we will be able to handle. That is its difficulty. We have many scriptures and all emphasize on one point, that we should live like the lotus flower. Though living in the water is not touched by it. Similarly, how to remain at peace in difficult situations. In pleasant situations, all are in peace. A real pilgrim of spirituality is he who can remain at peace during difficult situations. But we are so ready to complain to the Lord. We keep asking, why me? So in the Venu Geet, a narrative comes where the gopis stole Krishna's flute and asked her, our beloved keeps you close to his lips, fills his prana unto you. So how come that which we so desire you achieve so easily? This is the gopis asking Krishna's flute. The Lord keeps you always close to him, while sleeping, while awake. The flute said, I have done no sadhana, no spiritual practice, but I was taken away from my bamboo. That is my family. I was taken away from I was then immersed in water. I didn't complain. Heated in fire, holes were bored into my body, yet I did not complain. It was only then that I realized my good luck. I found myself close to the Lord, close to his lips. I have learned 2 things in life: to achieve the love of the Lord that and also that whatsoever comes in life, bear it, and second, don't complain. This is the way to recognize a true sadhak, that is a spiritual traveler. Some do bear but continue to complain. Addressing me, Maharaj Shri said, I remember you once telling me the story that you had gone to Rajasthan and you went to do darshan of Meera temple in Chittor, and he was not able to give you darshan. But in a fascinating way, he finally did. It is a lovable incident. It is a lovable incident. What I am trying to say is that in the difficult times we are going through now, it is time to bring forth our hidden capacities, awaken your sleeping spiritual capacity, become aware, give time to and for yourself, ask who I am, where I have come from, and where do I need to go. I would like to say to those who are depressed during these times, be patient, all will be well. Concentrate on dhairya, patience and dharam. If you keep at it, then surely again birds will sing, spring will come, rivers will dance, and satsang and kirtan will return everywhere. Then we will meet and sing and dance. But for now, stay calm. This is the biggest message of Venu Geet, that is the Geet of the flute. So I said, you spoke so well, thank you. But the best was that your Hindi was simple enough. I believe that there is not much to explain in English. But like you say, I also tell my friends, we have seen a lot, done a lot. Now let us give a little time for ourselves. Let's not waste more time. Continue to do what you do, but let's keep a little time to introspect on spiritual matters. Since you keep a little time for bhajan, food, keep a little time for bhojan. Since you keep a little time for bhojan, that is food, keep a little time for bhajan, which is spiritual matters. Now, my question is, when we come for satsang katha, I enjoy listening to kathas. If I may speak about myself, I was brought up in Spain in Europe. My way of thinking was very Western, but there was an intense desire in me to know about our culture, our dharma. And these sanskaras, that is tendencies, were given to me by my mother. She was very spiritual. What I'm trying to say is that I would go for kathas with my mother, and so I started to relish these spiritual discourses. However, while listening, our mind quietens, feels peaceful. But whenever we step out, then Maya, the world and its allurements attacks. So my question is how to retain that peace, and about those who have no interest in these matters, how to tell them not to waste their time. After all, the real truth, real peace lies in these things. See, Buddha and Meera left their palaces in pursuit of the truth. There must be some meaning to this. So what is to be done? In other words, what I asked him is, how do we keep that peace that we get in our satsang while we are there? How to keep it while living in the world or in the marketplace? So Neeraj Nayan Maharaj Shri replied to me, you have asked a wonderful question. So one thing is very clear, that when we move closer to spiritual matters, a spiritual person, God, our mind becomes peaceful, our senses rest. Just like when you sit under a tree, sit at the banks of a river, you feel cool. If you go to a garden, you will smell the fragrance. If you go near the sun, you will feel the heat. So my answer would be that since one feels peaceful by being close to spiritual persons and matters, then we should constantly move closer to them. What is happening nowadays is that we are closer to the sansar, to worldly matters, but remain farther from God. But if we remain closer to spiritual matters, then a time will come when you may not feel like moving towards sansar, the world and its allurements. Meera says, Bhav sagar sab suk gayo hai, fikr nahi mohe taranan ki, mohe lagi lagan guru charanan ki. Meaning the world has dried up for me. I am no longer worried about swimming across. So the point I'm making is that we are still in doubt. So the solution is that whatsoever words give us solace, go more often to listen to the spiritual person. Do bhajan kirtan often until we become firm in our beliefs, thoughts. Then we should start to feel a great peace becoming constant in our minds. That is what I believe. I hope what I have said is clear. So I said, yes, Maharaj Shri, It's very clear. This is what I keep telling my friends, that we have to have faith and we have to persevere. Krishna says the above in the Gita, that we have to practice and we have to keep at it. And to keep our peace for all times, I agree with you that we need to continue to do satsang and keep listening to spiritual talks of those who inspire us. Otherwise, God will come and go. But by practicing what you told us, God will remain firmly in our hearts. Great. But I have heard that Vrindavan is the seat of bhakti, the place that belongs to Krishna. I have heard that Krishna and Radha reside in its every grain of sand. And I also did this to my friend, that if you want to go to Vrindavan, then go with a bhakta and meet bhaktas, devotees. If you go to Vrindavan as a tourist, then you will surely miss. This is what I feel. So do please tell us about Vrindavan in the little time that we have left with us. So Maharaj Shri replies, Shakunji, you have said a beautiful thing about Vrindavan. So I shall elaborate on it. That when you come to Vrindavan, if you come with your perception, then you will not, if you come with your perception, then you will not be able to see Vrindavan or Bihariji. Bihariji is another name for Krishna. The way Vrindavan is, you will not see the Vrindavan the way it is meant to be seen. But if you see it with the Mahatma's perception, with the Bhaktas, devotees' perception, then you will see a different Vrindavan. To make the perception enlightened, colorful, is the work of a Satpurush. So if you want, Satpurush is an enlightened person. So if you want to know about the greatness of Vrindavan, you may read books about it, or you may read books about it, or if you see with your physical eyes, then you will see something else. But you may see that there is not much difference between Mumbai and Vrindavan. That is, if you see like this, you may see, oh my God, there's not much difference. Bombay and Vrindavan seems the same. The same roads, the same cars. But if you see with the eyes of a Satpurush, then we believe, and even our scriptures say, that Vrindavan is enlightened. God's name, form, Leela, Bhav, what Krishna did and his feelings are all enlightened. That is all, he used the word Chinmay. And we believe that Thakurji lives here, and today also sadhus experience that the Bansuri, the flute that played in Dwarka, continues to play here. If our heart is pure, we can listen to it even today. And our heart is pure, we can see Krishna's Leela today. And if our hearts become purer, then we can do darshan of Shri Krishna with these very eyes. He said you can do the darshan of Krishna with these very physical eyes and experience him. So in order to feel Krishna and his Leela, we need to know Vrindavan. Why is Vrindavan important? So I will tell you a short katha. Prayag was made the king of Tirthas. Prayag was made the king of Tirthas. So that Tirthas is pilgrimages. So every Tirth would have to pay tax, but Vrindavan would not pay tax. So Prayag felt, everyone gives me tax because I am the king, but this small Vrindavan does not. So Vrindavan said, I have not made you king of my home. Vrindavan, Krishna is saying this, Vrindavan is my home. And why is it my home? Because here Radharani resides, and she is the queen of this home. So what I am trying to say is that Thakurji resides here to this day. One more thing I would like to say is that Vrindavan from other Tirthas, pilgrimages, is very important for our sadhana, our spiritual practices. There is a kind of system as to what you need to do where. Kashmir will offer you something, but if you want bhakti, love to increase, then come to Vrindavan. I'm remembering something. If you're looking for vairagya, then go to the banks of Narmada. If you're looking for gyan, then go to the banks of Ganga. But if you're looking for bhakti and gyan, then come to the banks of Yamuna. So Vrindavan is the land of love. So I think that until you don't come to Vrindavan and bathe in its grains, in its kankan, take the refuge of Radharani, you may not achieve bhakti. And I said, Shakun said, wonderful. Listening to your words, I think that we must decide to come to Vrindavan not once, but many times. And we should pray to the Lord that this COVID should be clearer soon, so that we sit at his feet and listen to the bhajans and kathas of the saints. I've really enjoyed speaking with you, and maybe we have 5 more minutes left. So please share something that you would like to share with us. And Maharaj Shri said, I will be so happy to speak about what I would like to tell you. It is like after listening to the whole Bhagavad, Parikshit told Shukdevji to speak about what he would like to speak about. And me laughing said, Shukdevji only must have inspired me to say so. Actually, there are always a lot of questions, but I felt like asking you to say something that you would like to tell us about. Maharaj Shri says, just yesterday I was thinking, at this time there is a celebration concerning Ganeshi going on, and everyone enjoys this festival, do puja path. But I was pondering in my mind that in our Sanatan Dharma, that is Hinduism, we bring Ganeshji and do its puja, but then do its Visarjan, immerse in water. What does it mean? I was pondering upon this subject. Then I heard a voice within that there is a reason for it. We also pray to a Parthik Shivlingam and do Visarjan of it also. We do the same with Mata during Navratri. So the voice within touched my heart because I thought I had never thought like that earlier. It said, in our Sanatan Dharma, first we are taught to worship the idol, the Murti. Then slowly as our puja matures, so then let's not hold on to the Murti but do its Visarjan and see him in our hearts. So in order to teach us that truth, we bring the Murti, do its puja and then do its Visarjan. And I said, what a beautiful thought. Maharaj Shri said, yes, after Visarjan, we have to realize that that Murti has become Virat, big. We then believe that I will see that Murti all around, everywhere. And I said, Shakun, you have said a very, very, very beautiful thing, and I'm so happy that I gave you those 5 minutes. And then laughing, I said, actually, women do not stop talking generally. So you must admit that I gave you those 5 minutes. And so I'm happy that I did that. But please forgive me if I have said anything wrong. But thank you very much. And what else to say but pranam? And Maharaj Shri said, I will say thank you to you. And I must say that we both together have spoken about him. I want to say something that my Guru said before closing this talk, that Narayan Bhagwan who is speaking within me, that same Narayan Bhagwan is sitting within you and listening. So let us not do pranam to anyone, but offer our conversation to him. And I said, thank you so much. Pranam, we will meet again. And Maharaj Shri said, yes, surely. And with these words, we stopped our conversation and hoping that since you all have appreciated it, maybe we will come up with some more questions. So if any of you have any questions, send them to me and maybe I will ask him and send you a video recording. And do let me know if you like this English translation. So take care and God bless.